Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another Marvel vs. DC Comics. Now, this is comic book versus comic book. If you've never seen one of my videos when I've done this, I read as much as I can. In this case, I've got 13 DC, 13 Marvel, and I give them a star grade. 1 star, 2 star. 1 star is horrible, 2 stars bad, 3 stars average, 4 star good, 5 star excellent. Now, I do try to keep an open mind. I have admitted on this channel, I just want this to be out there, that I do steer DC. Now, I like them both. I just steer a little more towards DC, but when I read the comics for this, I try to keep an open mind. Also, when I place them, they are placed from the worst to the best. So you are seeing the countdown as it plays out in the reviews. At the end, of course, we tally up all the scores and find out who wins. Is it Marvel or is it DC? And frankly, I don't know until I get down to the end as well, because that's after I do all the reviews, after I do all of that, and I put the video together, that's when I add up the scores. So you find out literally seconds after I do. Well, you know, minus the time it takes to upload a video. Anyway, that's all the rules, so I'll just let the last few covers pass by, and then we'll get this party started. The 1-star books are horrible, so I'm lucky I have none of them this week. The 2-star books, they're merely bad. They could have been horrible, but they just have that one little saving grace. Tony Stark, Iron Man #7. I wanted to like this book. I really do. I want to like Iron Man. And Dan Slott can write sometimes. I liked seeing the Controller. I liked seeing the Arsenal armor. That was one of the earliest Avengers that was, I was like, wow, that's really cool, was Avengers Annual #9. That's about it. Okay, I mean, basically it's Tron. As a matter of fact, they said somebody's de-resing. There's inconsistent art. There's inconsistent coloring. That's just bad. I mean, this is a legitimately bad story as well. It's lazy. Batgirl #30. I am retracting everything I've said about this for a little bit. For just one shining moment, we were getting some great adventure tales from Batgirl. The book was improving, and it's hit the frickin' wall. What is it? Marguerite, what's her name, is writing it, and there's politics galore in it from somebody who obviously doesn't know what they're talking about. And I mean, not researched well on their particular side of the fence either. And it's just platitudes, and anybody who doesn't agree is horrible. And the politics drive the story. And that's the biggest problem. So, yeah, once again, gosh darn it, so close to having a good Batgirl book, but it looks like we're going to get derailed. Hopefully this is a one-off issue on that, and it'll begin to improve. Immortal Hulk #11 looks good, and usually I'm in this book's corner. Unfortunately, there's a couple of pages. It stops the story dead when Al Ewing goes into the identity politics and gives the reason why you get away with it is because you're a white male kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, shut the f up, Al. Seriously? As I'm sitting here on my 6th day of ramen noodles, you're going to tell me I've got privilege because I'm white. You are such an ass. Yeah, that pulled me out of the book. I couldn't get into it after that. Heroes in Crisis #4. Oh my gosh, I did a full review on this for the Bad Comic Beatdown, and please check that out. It's a really cool video. It really does explain all the problems for this particular book. And the summary is, Tom King seems to be putting his own voice in the characters instead of finding the voice of the characters to tell this particular story. This is a big problem with a lot of comic book creators. Usually Tom King can get around it, but when he doesn't, man, it destroys a book. Action Comics 1006. Nothing happens. I mean, okay, so he gets in a fight with the Red Ghost thing, and most of it's just dialogue, and just, I don't know. Even with the action, this book was boring me. I'm sorry, guys. At this point, I'm re-recording this, and I don't remember too much about it, to tell you the truth. I remember recording the first one, but now I'm thinking, what the freaking hell happened in this issue? I remember I was bored by it, so obviously it's in the 2-star for a good reason. The 3-star books are average. They either didn't resonate with me or I liked them just not enough to recommend them, though. Young Justice Outsiders #1 is a digital release. It's fun. Obviously here to kind of capitalize on the Season 3 coming out on streaming. I wish I could say more about it other than just fun. It's very shallow. It's a very shallow story. Simon is back in town, so they go chase him down. He appears at a TV convention where Megan actually takes time out of searching for Simon to see her mom. Entertaining, but ultimately, this is forgettable. Infinity. Man, they gave up with the titles, haven't they? It's Infinity Wars Infinity. So the book is beautiful, by the way. There's great art in it. It's a gorgeous-looking book. I like Moondragon, so if you include her in a book, I'm there. I'm solid. I want to read it. But at least give me something good to read. Okay, let me have a decent character of her. It's boring. Unfortunately, that's what this is. It's a whole bunch of people saying, we have to get the stones. We have to protect the stones. No, we have to get them. Let's find them. Where are they? Oh, look, they might be over there. That's the whole book in a nutshell. Solo, Imperial Cadet #3. So Han wants to go to a gambling barge, a pleasure barge, as they say. So he sets it up by cleaning and stealing. And it's basically all character. They're getting to know the people around him as they go about their particular brands of debauchery. There's not a lot of action in this. It's mostly dialogue, and he just did it to find out what's her name, Amelia Clark, was alive or not. It's okay. The book is written, and it's drawn. That's about it. Titans #32. So Dan Abnett's writing this, and he's pretty good. It's just I'm not a fan of what they did to Gar Logan. You know, let him be the changeling that he's been. Instead, they turned him into the Beast. We've got that over at the X-Men. After I'm able to get past that, I see the story is okay. It's not bad. It's kind of a repositioning of the Church of Blood, which I guess I'm okay with. They give it new purpose, make it a little bit more powerful, as a matter of fact, and a little bit more persuasive. And I'm enjoying it. It's just, it hasn't grabbed me yet. It's okay. There's Age of Republic, Obi-Wan Kenobi #1. So basically we're following Obi-Wan Kenobi as the master to Anakin Skywalker. In this one, they are sent to a planet because they think they found a Jedi holocron, and they have to go see if it actually is one. And of course, it's talking about the doubts that Obi-Wan has to be Anakin's master, while Anakin is doubting he's actually making a good Padawan. So they deal with that kind of issue. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Not the greatest Star Wars book on the shelf, but it's entertaining. Champions #1. One of my biggest gripes about any book that has kids as heroes is, are they acting like kids? Or are they acting like little adults with superpowers? And unfortunately, this one is little adults with superpowers. They're acting like a military team rather than a whole bunch of kids who got together because they all have superpowers and they want to fight and change the world. And to me, that's a bit of a downer. Now, the book is not bad. I'm not going to say this is bad. It actually looks good, and it's a quick read. It's got a lot of potential if the writer is brave enough to go there. For instance, there's a scene with Viv talking to Riri about the fact that she kissed her. I thought, wow, you know what? The way they're acting here, if they make Riri a little bit homophobic, this story is golden because it has someplace to go. It would have been better if one of the missions they were on would have failed. There would have been more drama. Unfortunately not. They're kind of Mary Sue-ish here. Overall, it's okay, but not great. The Flash #61. Gotta tell you, I'm not a big fan of the whole, hey, there's a force for everything now storyline that's going on. The first half of this book is kind of dull. Mainly because ultimately he ends up fighting his friend, and you know it's going to go nowhere, you know? As soon, though, as they get to this country that has a safe haven for supervillains, that's when it picks up. And that's right at the end, so at least it ends well. Overall, once again, it's an entertaining book. The Flash is never really bad. This one just kind of falls flat. It's just not all that exciting, but it sets up a premise good for the next issue. The Man of Fear, #1. So the Daredevil series is over. He gets hit by a truck. He's in the hospital right now. Foggy comes to visit him, and while he's talking, Matt is having a coma dream, and it's really on the spot. I'm still on the fence on this one. It's like it's not bad. It's just too literal, and it's weird because the original costume is chasing him around, and it's his fear. And it wants to help him by stopping him being Daredevil, but there's actually a version of him which has no costume, no skin, is just his body. And they make a mention on how he's taking abuse on his body. So I thought that should be the version that's chasing him around, because that's the one that's saying, quit this, or should say, quit this and just be human again, so we don't have to get out there and almost get ourselves killed. Like I said, I'm on the fence. It's decent, but just not recommendable yet. The Terrifics, #11. Now, while I love this series, I don't know about this particular issue. So we have all the team. They're in their normal lives, except for Mr. Terrific, who's chasing a bad guy through the multiverse. And it seems they're not happy. Obviously, Plastic Man has a good reason. His wife and kid are rejecting him. But Phantom Girl is like, oh, I used to fight a lot. And I'm like, well, you know, isn't that kind of a little bit traumatic? I don't know. I could understand you wanting the action and maybe the travel, but getting punched in the face is not fun in any dimension. And Rex, on the other hand, it just kills me because now he's complaining he's not a freak. And that means this man's got manic depression. This guy's depressive, and somebody needs to check that out. Overall, like I said, it's an entertaining book. It's just I don't know about this particular issue. The 4-star books are legitimately good, and I am happy to recommend them to you. Wolverine: The Long Hunt. This is pretty good. It says it's an adaptation, I guess. I didn't check to see what it was what it was adapting. I guess it's a novel or something, because that's how it feels. And I'm telling you, this comic book feels like it's a novel. Now, granted, I think they're throwing a whole bunch of red herrings at us right now because it's so obviously the killer is Wolverine that it can't be. So we'll find out that later. But it really does take time to get to know all of the players, and I'm appreciating this. Overall, very good book. It's a really cool miniseries as far as the first issues go anyway. Books of Magic, #3. And so Tim is having a hard time sleeping. That's actually the story today. It's how he's dealing with his nightmares and so forth. It's conversation all throughout. And here's the thing. Books of Magic is still the bright spot of the Sandman universe. And I'm not saying that facetiously, like, oh, this book sucks and yet it's still the best book. I'm telling you, even though this is all conversation, it's interesting conversation. Him talking to Mad Hetty was entertaining. Him talking to Dr. Rose is entertaining. I like this book. So far, so very good. Please keep it up, DC. Justice League Odyssey #4. You know, it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Justice League series, but it's very entertaining. So far, so good. I wish they just named it something else. I'm not a big fan of the name. But this you have, basically they go to a world where Cyborg is worshipped as a god. But to prove he's a god, he has to fight Azrael. And it's just fun. It's not going to waste any brain cells, and you're not going to be working too hard to understand this story or anything like that. But while you're reading it, you're going to have a good time. Uncanny X-Men #8. Credit where credit is due. The book's good. It's been fun. I like the last few issues. I also like the young versus the old. Here, the younger kids just noticed, wait a second, have you noticed about the X-Men? They're soldiers, so we are expendable soldiers. They don't really watch out for their own. I kind of like that. I didn't like Jean Grey tossing Apocalypse around like he was nothing. They obviously needed to get him out of the way so they could continue the story, but it made him look weak. And this is supposed to be a Thanos-like villain, and I didn't appreciate that. Overall, though, still, the book is thoroughly enjoying and entertaining. Mr. and Mrs. X, #7. I enjoy the book. It's a lot of fun. This has Mojo as the villain. I like Mojo as a villain. I think it's kind of weird to look at him and go, somebody said, you know what a TV host should look like? Or a Universal him. I just enjoy it. Now, the book stumbles a little when it makes X-Men Black canon. That piece of crap does not deserve to be that way. But Mojo is basically trying to find the right genre to put these two in, and that's basically the story. And it's just fun and entertaining and pretty damn good. Knights number 5. So I said they keep doing this recruitment thing. They've got to get on with the story. Come on, let's pick it up, and go. Now they're actually getting on with the story. It's moving on, and it's kind of exciting. They hit Wilson Fisk's building. That's where T'Challa is. I'm not a big fan of the Mary Sue T'Challa, where he could defeat the entire Marvel Universe with or without his suit. He does that here. He beats the rest of them. And well, except for the Hulk. And it's ridiculous. However, I loved this scene with Kingpin and Dr. Doom. I gotta say, so far, so good. This is definitely a series to pick up. Batman Beyond, number 27. Now, Batman Beyond is not a book I visit very often, just on occasional. And so this one I picked up, and it's a part 3, so it's okay. That's always a good sign. It's actually very fun. I liked seeing the Joker. I like the fact that the Joker's ticked off at how clean Gotham has gotten, and he's not a big fan of the Jokers as a gang, so he's basically cleaning up Gotham in his own mind to return it to the gritty and grim city that it used to be. And of course, he has to take out all the pretenders. This is definitely a fun book right here. Wonder Woman number 61. Steve Trevor meets Aphrodite and tells her to put her clothes on, because he's in love with Wonder Woman. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, this book is good. I'm sorry, guys, but unlike the Kelly Sue DeConnick thing, this has been an improvement over that Mexico stuff we got a few weeks ago from Wonder Woman, or a few months ago. G. Willow Wilson's writing a tight story. So far, so good. And I've been burned before. I gave a good review to Brian Michael Bendis' first issue of Man of Steel. We saw how that turned out. But for Wonder Woman, so far, so good. Killmonger, number 3. This is weird, because I think the fact that Black Panther tanking these days kind of shadows this, and that's unfortunate, because Killmonger is a really good book. It tells the story it tells the story before he gets to Wakanda, before he becomes the guy that we basically see in the movie, and it's very exciting. One weird thing, though, is he keeps meeting people, and you find out, okay, well, yeah, this guy who'd appeared in 3 issues before he had his appearance in his movie has been intertwined with the Marvel Universe ever since. That just doesn't make sense. But it is a good story. Detective Comics 995. It is so nice to get a Batman book where it seems like the writer knows about Batman. Tomasi really does kind of run a tight ship here. In this, we're trying to save Leslie Tompkins' life, and because she's been infected with the Joker toxin, and all the while he's remembering, of course, his interactions with her. It's a very heartfelt issue. I mean, this will have you on the edge of your seat. And then, of course, the cover happens, which I like. There's too many times when the cover doesn't happen in the comic book, but this time, wow, a lot of fun and very intense. The 5-star books are excellent. They may not be Watchmen quality, but man, they do get the job done. The Silencer, number 12. Holy Toledo, this is a good book. I mean, this is a fantastic freaking book. This one is basically a standoff between the Silencer and Talia al Ghul for all the marbles. It's a great book, man. It's got a lot of action, but throughout the action, you get the characters, so you're not sacrificing one for the other. And in the end, there's a twist. There's betrayal. There's also just emotion, the whole 9 yards. This book makes you run the gamut. Silencer is one of the best books on the shelf, hands down. Not even hyperbole there. Those are the reviews, so let's tally up the score and see who wins the week. DC had 0 1-star books, 3 2-star books, 4 3-star books, 5 4-star books, 1 5-star books. There were 13 of them, a score of 43, and an average of 3.31. Marvel had 0 1-stars, 2 2-stars, 5 3-stars, 6 4-stars, 0 5-stars, 13 comics, score of 43, and an average of 3.31. I don't think in all the time that I've ever done one of these I've had a tie score. I could have, I just forgot about it. So I figured, okay, there has to be a way to break the tie. So what I figured what I'll do is go with that whole, what was there, 26 books. So number 1's worth 26, number 2 is 25, so forth and so on to see who wins. This would leave DC with a score of 178 and Marvel with a score of 172. So for those of you who need a winner to every contest, there you go. DC won by 6 points. Only 6 points. It's a very close week, and it's a very good week for comic books. I'm a traditionalist. I'm going to say it was a tie score, but you do you. So there you go. That was this week's Marvel versus DC. I know it was a day late, but I hope it wasn't $1 short. What do you think? What do you think I graded way too high? What do you think I graded way too low? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you know the drill. Click like, share, get word out about the channel. And if you haven't done it already, hit subscribe. More importantly, hit that notification bell, because that seems to be what YouTube really pays attention to when they decide to do their jobs and notify people that there's a video or a live stream out. Not that there's going to be a live stream for 3 months. Speaking on that, so yeah, they cut off the live stream, so I'm really kind of e-begging, saying, hey man, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Help me keep my lights on, because this is how I make a living. Help me keep making videos for you. That's the more important part. Also, well, yeah, I'm going to have a Ko-Fi. I keep saying that, but trust me, I'm going to have a Ko-Fi up pretty soon. So there will be that as well. I'd like to thank everybody who's already donated to both of those, and to everyone, all of the true believers out there, thank you very, very much for watching.